Hey guys, Profe Pablo here, Spanish teacher turned Minecraft engineer. I know what you're thinking. This looks like some sort of mad scientist thing, but what this is an infinite bone meal farm. And with infinite bone meal, just think of the possibilities. Guys, this bone meal farm is a little tricky on the redstone, but besides that, it's actually not that hard to make. It uses moss generation to create bone meal and uses that same bone meal to power the farm, but at the same time generating more bone meal. And I know, I have a world where I'm building a farm for everything in survival, but I'm gonna do this one in creative and transfer it over to my survival world. It's just so complicated on the redstone, it would take me forever to record. Enough chit-chat, let's do this. Okay, because I'm going to build this farm all above ground, I'm going to come up 6 blocks. A lot of this you can put underground, but I want you to be able to see everything. Then I'm going to take 9 pistons and put them this way. I'm going to cover those pistons with block underneath. Needs to be non-flammable block. I'm going to cover the sides, the front, and the back. Up here on top, I'm going to waterlog each one of these pistons. You do that by crouching and using a water bucket. And then I'm going to cover the pistons with blocks like that. And I'm going to make a trough going this way. This is around the front of the pistons. The front of the pistons would be right here. And I'm going to take lava buckets and place a lava bucket for each one of the pistons. Then I have this wall back here. This is the back of the pistons, and I'm going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. On the second block from the edge here, I'm going to place a block here, 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 and here. I'm making a T clock. Going to break that. Then I'm going to put a redstone torch here, redstone dust here, a repeater pointing this way. We're going to slow that down 1 tick, and then I'm going to run redstone all along the back here. You'll start seeing your stone generating, and we're going to let it generate all the way. Then coming from this back wall right here, this is underneath my pistons, we are going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. We are going to take what's underneath here and extend it all the way across our farm here, all the way to the edge of the stone. We're just making a floor here. Now, right above this last smooth stone that is away from our stone generator, we are actually going to break this stone and replace it with obsidian. You will have to be quick. If you don't want to be quick about it, you could just break this redstone, turn off this clock. We are just going to place down obsidian all the way, just like that. Now we can actually break these blocks. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing back on. Now, right over here above this lava, we're going to place a row of blocks like that. Make that 2 blocks, just like that. Then we are going to come over here and lay down pistons facing down, just like this. This is on that column of blocks that we just built. So you get something that looks like this. Okay, we need to surround these pistons with blocks. And then I'm going to bring this wall down here on one side and bring it down here on the other side. Looks like I missed a block here. And actually what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and place some hoppers, which we need to use later. We're going to come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and break these blocks. And we're going to lay down hoppers going into each other just like this, all the way to the end here. And then even one more, which is going to be right here, like that. So you get something that looks like this. Okay, now we are going to extend this out this way. When you get to the obsidian, come 2 blocks back. And then bring your trough back this way. And you're coming to the corner right where these pistons are. Right before you get to those, that's where we are going to stop that. This is eventually going to be 5 blocks worth of lava. I want to make sure and have everything else in place before I put the lava down. So underneath that trough, we are going to place a block here, and then place pistons. We need to put blocks underneath the pistons, and then we'll need to put blocks behind those pistons. Let's go ahead and put blocks in front of the pistons right underneath, just like that. We'll put a couple blocks there on the side and here on the side as well. And then we are going to waterlog these pistons. Then on top, we're going to put buckets of lava. That's creating a stone generator, and we want to connect it back here to this clock. So I'm going to run this clock this way. Looks like we have one extra block here that we didn't need. I'm going to place a block here and then run redstone from the top of this block all the way back here. Just like that. Now, I see that pushed stone all the way this way. That's okay. That actually helps us measure what we're going to do next. We are going to extend this wall this way. When we get to the obsidian, we are going to make a trough, basically mirroring what we have over here. We're going to come underneath, place a block here, a block here. This is going to get a little tricky with the stone, but you could do it if you angle just right. Place pistons pointing in. Oops. There we go. Put blocks underneath those pistons. You'll probably have to waterlog them before you put blocks behind. Place blocks behind, and then lava buckets on top. And you get something very symmetrical that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and close in this wall to make it look even more professional and symmetrical. Perfect. So basically we have 3 stone generators all pointing into the same stone. What this does is allows the stone to break most of the moss before the next one generates. Sometimes it breaks it all, as you can see in the build that I completed over here. Okay, now for some redstone. So we are going to take a dispenser, come over here to this middle hopper, crouch, place a dispenser like that, and then we actually need to break this hopper and have this hopper pointing in to the dispenser like that. We need 1 moss block in front of that dispenser like that. Then place a block here, regular piston on top pointing towards the moss. Break that block. Then we're going to place a block here, place a sticky piston pointing that way. We're going to place a block of redstone right here on the sticky piston. We need to go ahead and waterlog all these pistons and then connect this redstone block to redstone dust going on top of all of these pistons. As you can see, the water stays in the pistons. When they retract, that water actually flows out. In this finished one over here, you can see that water pushes all of our drops down over here to our chests. You know what? I just realized we have to connect this redstone back here over here to this stone generator. So we're going to run redstone this way, just a couple, throw down a repeater, and then run redstone all along the back here, like that. And now we are going to connect this to a redstone clock. So I can actually break this block. I'm going to come back 2 blocks off of that piston. I'm going to put a block here, place 2 redstone dust here, place a comparator here facing into these blocks, and then I'm going to build a platform 2 blocks back for a repeater clock right here. Now this is for an ethos clock or a delayed repeater clock, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'm going to put a redstone block here, place a piston pointing in like that, skip a block, place another piston here, place a hopper facing down like that, point a hopper facing into that hopper, break this hopper, point another hopper facing into that hopper so they're facing into each other, put a comparator right here, put a comparator right here, block, block, redstone, and redstone. Then I can throw 6 items, whatever items I want, into this hopper, and that starts my repeater clock. So what's going to happen here, as you can see in this build, is the dispenser is dispensing bone meal into this block, causing the moss to spread down here to the platform below. This piston cleans off the moss because if it has stuff on top, the bone meal won't work on it. All of this is being powered by this ethos clock over here. Okay, now we need a collection system. Now, the way that I'm doing my collection system requires a lot of resources. You can make this simpler, but I like it because that way all of my moss gets sucked into the system. What we're going to do now is take a block, place it on the last obsidian here, and then one more just like that. Then we're going to place a chest here, do this all the way down. And before we get to the end of the obsidian, I'm actually going to place some blocks here, just like this. We can bring this out all the way as well. Then we are going to place hoppers in the back of each one of these double chests. Then under these blocks right here, we are going to place a double chest just like that. And then going to that double chest, under these chests, we are going to place a row of hoppers. Just like that. Okay, under this double chest, let's put 2 hoppers just like that, 2 composters just like that, and 2 blocks away from this composter, so right here, I'm going to place a dropper facing up. Underneath the composters, I need a hopper going into that dropper, another hopper right there, and another hopper right there. Then I'm going to put solid blocks on top of that hopper, coming up this way. It needs to be 2 blocks above the roof of this. Then I'm going to place blocks on the side of this dropper, coming up like this, and then place blocks on top over here between the chests over here, this system over here, and the dropper, coming up like this. One on this side of the dropper as well, coming up like this, and one on the back of this dropper, but I'm going to start above like that, going all the way up, because back here I'm going to place 2 blocks, an observer facing in like that, and an observer facing, out like that. So basically your dropper has to be covered in blocks, and those blocks have to extend up. This is creating an item elevator. We're going to come up one more, just like this, but we are going to leave this one open because the items will pop out here. Now let's take this hopper's one more row back so that they are equal with this lava source. And then we are going to bring this row of blocks this way, like that. Should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, perfect. Then we're going to make a trough, just like this. And place a water bucket right here. So this water is going to carry the items all the way over here to this hopper. Just for safekeeping, I'm going to block this off like that. That hopper runs everything through this hopper line over here to this dispenser, so that this dispenser always has bone meal. Okay, it's time to test this thing out. I suggest throwing in a little bit of bone meal to get you going. You do have to throw in some. I suggest like 16 pieces. All right, and the farm is going to start working. Everything is coming down into these hoppers, which is coming down into these chests, which is flowing over here, filling up the composters, creating more bone meal. That bone meal should be going up this item elevator. It is. It's flowing down here to these hoppers, coming back in here, and it will eventually start multiplying our bone meal. Okay, and as you can see, our hoppers are getting backed up. So if you have enough iron, let's go ahead and run another row of hoppers going in like this. Okay, and as you can see, our bone meal is starting to multiply. We have 19 pieces here, even though it's being used. We already have 21, it's going up, 22. So we could AFK here and have infinite bone meal. Now, let's say that you actually wanted moss instead of bone meal. That's pretty easy. What we are going to do for that is take a couple of blocks, place them here, and throw a couple of levers on these and turn off these blocks. That's going to turn off these hoppers. And then you can just grab from the hoppers, which will eventually back up into the chest, but it will run out of bone meal, so you might want to save up bone meal first. I hope you guys enjoyed this infinite bone meal farm. This truly is infinite bone meal. It works fast, it works efficiently. Again, a little tricky on the redstone, but definitely worth it. I'll be building this in my survival world very soon. And as always, thanks for watching.